Hey y'all, thanks for watching my previous videos. I know a couple of you have asked me to do more videos, and so here I am. Today I wanted to talk about authenticity. When I came out, my whole world was like changed, right? And so one of the decisions that I made was that I didn't want to be hiding anymore. I wasn't gonna hide behind who I thought people told me I should be. I wasn't gonna do things a certain way because I felt like that's what I should be doing. I really just wanted to be myself. And that's definitely something that I have been enjoying about this new phase of life, is that nothing's hidden. Everyone knows what my deepest, darkest shame was. And when I was trying to hide who I was, when I was trying to hide the shame, the sins, the bad things that I had done, it caused me to a point where I was suicidal. I was literally rather kill myself than I was to face people knowing the truth about who I was. It was more of a conscious decision of like, I want to live a life of abundance and not a life of lack. And so being authentic was a conscious decision in the fact that I wanted to be a healthy human and be able to interact in a more positive way with other people. So I realized like being authentic with my friends is one level, but that I had to also be authentic with my kids. I share my feelings with them. They see daddy cry, they see daddy laugh, they know when daddy's having a bad day or a good day because I tell them that, you know? And so it's the same thing, not making a big deal about my sexuality, but I didn't ever want them to feel like I was hiding that part of me. And I wanted to make sure I was doing it the right way. So I talked to different counselors, and I have a counselor here in Greenville who really helped me with this. And the plan was just wait for the kids to ask if I was gay, or wait to hear about, like, let them bring up the topic. So in December, I had the flu, and I was driving my kids to school, and we're about to pull into the school parking lot, and Davis says to me sort of casually, "What does it mean to be gay?" And I'm like, wait a minute, like, you waited till like we are literally pulling into the school to be like, what does it mean to be gay? And I think that says a lot because he just didn't think it was a big deal. Driving to school, like my mind's going, oh yeah, I went to ask dad, what does it mean to be gay, you know? And so I was like, Davis, I said, that is an excellent question. I really want to talk to you about this. I said, but can it wait till I see you and I don't have the flu? He's like, oh yeah, that's fine. Did this really just happen? Like, I feel terrible. And he asked me or whatever. So anyway, I kept thinking like, should I ask, like the next time I saw him, I was like, okay, I'll just come out and tell him. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna wait for him to ask me again, you know, because I don't want to force the issue. I don't want to make it a big deal. And so a couple weeks go by, and we're just sitting here at the house, and David says, hey, you never told me what being gay meant. And I said, oh yeah, I didn't, you're right. And I said, well, I was like, it means when boys like boys and girls like girls. And he said, well, what do you mean? Like they get married? And I said, yeah, like they get married. Boys marry boys and girls marry girls. He sort of sat back and he says, well, he goes, do you know anyone that's gay? And I said, well, yeah, actually I know a lot of people that are gay. And I said, and I'm gay too. And he's just like, what? And I said, yeah. And so he's like, well, is that why you and mommy got a divorce? And I was like, well, there were lots of reasons that mommy and I got a divorce. And I said, but that was one of them. He was very much like, well, okay, that makes sense. He goes, because you didn't like girls, you like boys. And I said, yeah. And I said, but Davis, I said, I'm not asking you to keep secrets because I don't want you to keep secrets at all. And I said, but there's just some people that don't agree with daddy, who don't like daddy because he's gay. And he goes, well, what do you mean? I said, well, some people think that I chose this. And he said, well, did you choose this? And I said, well, Davis, let me ask you a question. And the only way I can think that I could have this was literally the Holy Spirit just like, give me this analogy, because I can't think of any other way that I had this analogy. And I said, but Davis, I said, do you like strawberries? No, I hate strawberries. You know that. I was like, right, okay. Well, when did you choose not to like strawberries? He said, well, I didn't choose not to like strawberries. That's just how I am. And I said, right. He says, well, that makes a lot of sense. He goes, so why would people say that you chose it? And I said, well, I was like, they just do. They don't believe that God would create me to be gay. And I said, but I believe that he did. In his infinite creativity, I believe that this is what he was capable of doing, and that he created me perfectly, and that he knew what he was doing with me. the whole point of all this is being authentic on the level of my children is how authentic I want to live. That's one of the things that I really struggled with in telling my kids was like, I was fearful for so long that if I told my kids that I was gay, then they would not love me anymore and they wouldn't want to be around me anymore and that they would think Dad was gross or weird or stupid or something. And that was one of the reasons that I had my suicide attempt, was because I couldn't imagine telling my kids, I couldn't imagine my kids finding out. What I found, at least with my son, is that when it found out, it actually drew us closer. He didn't love me any less. Maybe he loves me more. I just know that we're closer now and that we have this connection where I trusted him with a part of me and that he can trust me with a part of him. And so it just creates that authenticity even with an 11-year-old, because I'm being true to him, which is what I want you to do for other people. I want you to be authentic. I want you to be able to share your story, whatever that is, the junk, you know. I wish that we could all just throw all of the things that make us feel shame and just throw them on the table, okay? And say, there it all is. And that's me. That's who makes up me. Throw your junk on the table. Just get it out there, because once it's out there, you can't hide anymore. There's nothing to hide. It's out there. All of your junk is on the table, you know? So many people feel like homosexuality is just the grossest thing that's in their heart or in their soul, and they just can't put that on the table. And what I want people to understand is they didn't choose it. This is the way that God created you in his infinite creativity, and it can be there. And you need to let the people walk away. You need to be bulletproof when the people start telling you bad stuff. And then you just need to love the hugs when the people come to hug you. So, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing I want to get across.